What if your biggest sales breakthrough came from asking better questions instead of giving better answers? Let's talk about one of the most overlooked and most powerful part of your MSP sales process. Discovery, not the proposal, not the pricing, the discovery. Because if the discovery is weak, everything that follows is built on shaky ground. Here's the first mindset shift that changes everything. Discovery isn't about pitching, it's about learning. Think like a reporter, not a salesperson. A reporter doesn't dominate the conversation. They ask smart questions, then they listen. Your goal in discovery should be simple. Get the other person talking. Ideally, they're doing 90 to 95% of the talking. Their stories, their challenges, that's where the real opportunities live. This starts with preparation. You should never walk into a discovery conversation without a clear plan. Build diagnostic questions in advance and tailor them based on who you're speaking with. The questions you ask a CEO should be very different from the ones you ask operations, finance, or even support staff. And when someone mentions a problem, don't rush past it. Slow down, dig deeper. Ask follow-up questions like, what do you mean by that? Or how often does that happen? Or what happens when that issue shows up? The more specific the answers, the more clearly you understand the real business impact. Here's something most MSPs get wrong. They treat discovery like a sales presentation, but your job isn't to impress, it's to understand. The more you listen, the more value the conversation becomes. Another critical piece of the great discovery is speaking to multiple people inside the organization. Technology affects everyone differently. Leadership sees risk and growth. Staff feels friction and inefficiency. Frontline employees experience the day-to-day pain. Each perspective adds another layer of insight, and each one strengthens your position later. When you take the time to hear all of the voices, something interesting happens. Prospects feel heard. They feel understood, and trust starts to build long before you ever talk about solution. Discovery like this doesn't require fancy tools or slick sales tactics. It requires curiosity, discipline, and practice. You can sharpen this skill everywhere, even in everyday conversations. Ask better questions, listen longer, and get comfortable with silence. When discovery is done right, the rest of the sales process becomes dramatically easier. Your recommendations are clearer, your proposals are even stronger, and your close rates improve because you're solving real problems, not guessing. If you want to build a better discovery process that consistently leads to better conversations and better deals, there's a link in the video description. Click it and schedule a success call with us. And let's have a real conversation about where you're at, where you want to go. No pressure, just clarity.